From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Headliners. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. At this hour, deadly wildfires continue to rage across the state of California. The fires have forced the shutdown of hundreds of schools in the Los Angeles Unified School District. The school superintendent in L.A. is Alberto Carvalho. He led the school system in Miami-Dade for 14 years before taking the top job in L.A. about 3 years ago. I spoke to Carvalho about the massive challenges he's now facing in California.
Alberto, great talking to you. What is your biggest concern right now as these fires rage out of control in Southern California?
The biggest concern continues to be the unpredictability of the wind speeds.
Those winds could reach 100 miles an hour. In other words, hurricane-force winds mixed in with raging flames, buildings burning out of control, and cars blocking access roads, making firefighting difficult.
What has been the impact so far on the school system?
At three levels. Number one, we had to shut down 300 schools, impacting around 1/3 of our student population. Secondly, we have lost 2 elementary schools up in the Palisades, one of the most deeply impacted areas in our community, to fire. We're talking about 100% destruction.
Also heavily damaged is Palisades Charter High School, where 3,000 students attend class. Strong winds are making firefighting by helicopter almost impossible. Those same winds create clouds of toxic smoke that can permeate throughout Los Angeles.
Because of the geographic configuration of the city, unlike Miami, these mountains arrest some of these clouds of smoke for hours and days, creating harmful conditions to our community. The combination of powerful fires simultaneously happening in our community, coupled with hurricane-strength winds, presents a set of challenges that are equally destructive and equally powerful.
Anything you learned during your years here in South Florida that has prepared you for the crisis you're dealing with now?
Look, my 15 years as superintendent of Miami prepared me with compassion, with patience, developing strategies regardless of what the conditions or circumstances may be. And those are skills from a human perspective, but also strategic perspective that can serve anyone well.
All right, Carvalho told me he was hoping to reopen schools just 2 days after we did that interview, but it all depends on the strength of the winds. He's also concerned about possible mudslides after the fires are out. Turning now, the housing crisis is all over for a dozen or so condo owners in Fort Lauderdale. They're being forced to sell their building because of new state laws that require repairs with a big price tag. CBS News Miami's Joe Murray reports from Fort Lauderdale Beach.
Everybody's scattered all over.
Warren Sackler's life has been upended for months, along with his neighbors at Springbrook Gardens, a beachside bit of paradise built in the 1940s.
It's horrific. Indeed, the saddest day.
Last September, condo owners were forced out after the building was found to be unsafe. The foundation was decaying.
We didn't have $4.5 million to take care of the story of the building.
So residents have decided to sell. Each would have had to come up with hundreds of thousands of dollars in repairs required under new statewide condo laws enacted after the deadly Surfside collapse in 2021. Under the new condo laws, all condos must have reserves for major repairs and money for maintaining the roof, foundation, and balconies. And structural inspections must be done on condos 3 stories and higher.
We're constantly getting phone calls from owners asking, what should I do? What can I do? How do I approach this?
Jeff Shanor has been a realtor 30 years. He says new condo laws are changing the landscape. Rising maintenance fees and assessments are driving people out.
Would you call it a glut right now?
Yeah, I think that's a good word to use. There's a lot of condominiums that are currently for sale, and a lot of them just simply can't sell.
I renovated, and then I had some friends post stuff, and we gutted the place.
Warren Sackler has stripped his double unit of appliances and fixtures before the wrecking ball takes down his building. He doesn't know where he'll end up or if the cost of a similar unit near the water will be affordable.
Nobody's happy about it. Everybody, of the 18 people, they all wanted to live, they would love to live there, but not with the debt and everything else.
Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
It's our new reality in the state of Florida. When we come back, see what virus is surging across the United States and how to keep you and your family safe from it. Next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back to Headliners. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. The holidays are over and a troubling new virus is surging. It's the norovirus. The cases in December are almost 3 times higher than what was reported between 2021 and 2024. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us from Miami International Airport with the health alert.
While passengers disembarked from their cruises, the news about a virus spreading across the country, like the CDC are saying, shocked some.
I'm concerned. I wish I would have known before we went.
According to the Centers of Disease Control, Florida had the second highest number of confirmed norovirus outbreaks between September 1st, 2023 and October 31st, 2024, with 24 confirmed outbreaks. What is norovirus?
It is a highly infectious virus causing diarrhea, abdominal pain, vomiting.
The doctor tells us holidays contribute to the spike.
We typically do see an increase in norovirus cases in the winter around this time of year because of large gatherings, people traveling, different generations of people together.
Tamara Holmes traveled on a cruise. She is from North Carolina.
But we took precautions, washing our hands, trying to keep a safe distance from everybody just as best as we could.
Mixed feeling from these friends heading out on a cruise on Monday.
I heard that there's spreading across everywhere and also on the cruise lines.
After COVID, I believe that we could handle it.
Data released by the CDC showed that 16 cruise ships norovirus outbreaks were reported in 2024, including 5 in December that sickened 890 passengers and crew members.
If you're sick, don't travel.
At Miami International Airport, some see it as a flashback.
I suggest, going back to the basics, wearing your face mask. That's all we can do.
Is covering your face enough?
The most important thing you can do to prevent transmission is wash your hands. If you're sick, don't be preparing food for other people and don't be sharing food with other people.
So keep this in mind too. There is no treatment for norovirus infections. Doctors are advising individuals that get sick to stay home, to rest and hydrate. And when they say hydrate, that means water only. We are at Miami International Airport. Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Well, it's been a chilly week in South Florida, but temperatures are expected to plunge into even lower temperatures, and that's creating concern for South Florida's most vulnerable communities. CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister spoke to those who are living on the street.
Winter weather is approaching South Florida, and those experiencing homelessness are bracing for the plunge in temperatures.
That is something to be concerned because, being out on the streets in that cold, it's not good. I mean, you won't be able to function.
Paula Barrios tells us she's been living on the street for years and says that when it gets cold, she's always looking for a warm place to stay.
I will approach the police and ask them, say, look, do you guys have an emergency place to go to be off the streets, just due to the cold weather?
And there are organizations like the Miami-Dade Homeless Trust who send out crews to bring in those living on the streets during those brutally cold nights.
When we bring people in, and in particular during cold weather snaps, we work extraordinarily hard to really move people longer term off the streets, and we track every single individual that comes in. And we get reports for the several weeks afterwards. We monitor how many people we're retaining.
As volunteers prepare to assist those living on the streets this week, those needing help like Avian Simmons tells us she's concerned about the new Florida law that can lead to arrests for those sleeping in public areas.
Where we're going to go, pretty much. We just have to find places to go, just more beds, I guess, maybe.
Simmons says while she feels supported by police and community advocates, she fears about her future with this new legislation as she struggles to get off the streets and into permanent housing.
It's intimidating, and you just have to learn how to be able to juggle everything again.
And the Homeless Trust tells us that they're heading out Monday to prepare for that cold snap that is expected later this week. And for information on how you can help, you can check out our website, cbsmiami.com. But for now, reporting from Miami, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
And when Headliners return, see how a South Florida doctor is dedicating his life to serving the community and the nation. You won't want to miss it.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back to our show. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. As colder temperatures head our way, we can't forget about the animals. Zoo Miami is taking precautions for some of its reptiles and primates who need extra warmth during these colder days. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis was there and got an inside look at the enclosures they're setting up.
It's time to bundle up. For some of these animals at Zoo Miami, low temps in the mid-40s can be dangerous.
Speaking, a lot of the animals have night enclosures that they go to. A lot of our primates that have heating within the enclosures. Our reptiles, like our big giant tortoises, they'll go inside an enclosure that has a heated floor and some radiant heaters in it to keep them warm.
In their oldest residence, at 131 years old, the tortoises, Ron McGill at Zoo Miami says, would never experience these cold temperatures. So heaters are a must to prevent illness.
Some animals, like our sloths, will be brought inside to buildings that are heated.
And the sloths are inside already, as they can get pneumonia with low temperatures. The porcupines have heat lamps and heated pads, whereas other animals think the cold is pretty nice.
A lot of the animals, believe it or not, even though, we have animals from Africa and such, people don't realize that in Africa, even in the mornings, I just got back from there, it gets very cold in the morning. It gets down to 30s and 40s in the morning. It heats up in the afternoon. So sometimes these cold spells are actually very important for their natural cycles.
Animals like the tigers love the cooler weather, and the birds have enough feathers to keep warm, whereas orangutans and chimpanzees get extra hay, blankets, and even a little more food.
We may give supplemental diets, just for more calories that they'll burn, trying to keep warm.
McGill says fortunately they have never lost any animals due to cold weather because of their preventative action. At Zoo Miami, Trish Christakis, CBS News, Miami.
And finally, it is time for the first Miami Proud of 2025. We're shining a spotlight on a South Florida doctor who has dedicated his life to serving his country and his community. CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us once again with a look at how he provided life-saving care overseas and now uses his skills to transform the lives of patients here.
When Dr. Daniel Klinger gets ready for work these days, he puts on his white Broward health coat. But he started his career wearing a different uniform.
I signed up for the military really when I was in college. I did what's called Reserve Officers Training Corps. So I was on a scholarship and then trained to be an officer during college. And actually, I went down that path before I decided on medical school. So that was kind of early on.
Dr. Klinger is not only a neurosurgeon for Broward Health, but a retired lieutenant colonel from the U.S. Army, who once served on the front lines overseas providing life-saving care.
And I also did some other duties. I deployed once to Iraq, so I spent about 6 months in Baghdad in around 2017, 2018, serving there as a neurosurgeon, and then also did some short assignments in other bases throughout the country.
As a child, Dr. Klinger was no stranger to the military. His decision to join was a deeply personal one.
My interest in the military actually was from my father. He served in Vietnam for several years, had a full career. He was an infantry officer. Just seeing kind of what he gained out of it kind of inspired me to want to pursue that as well.
Using his skills he learned from operating overseas, he now saves the lives of patients in South Florida every day. He says his collaboration with other surgeons helps create a better outcome for his patients.
In the military, it's all about kind of completing the mission. Whatever team you have, whether it's in the operating room or out with a unit, you're trying to accomplish that goal. And I think, there's a direct parallel. We try to do the same thing every day here at Broward.
From the front lines to the operating room, Dr. Daniel Klinger has dedicated his life to saving the lives of others.
It's very rewarding taking care of service members, because a lot of them are very motivated to get back to work and get back to duty. Just to be able to contribute to that in a small way is gratifying. It's all about taking care of your community. I think that's the lesson at the end of the day.
Reporting in Fort Lauderdale, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
And thank you so much for joining us this half hour in Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great day.